This creature is watching you. Published by Caught on Videos in January of 2020. A mysterious sound on a tin roof caught this cameraman by surprise. As he's taking footage of his surroundings, something clangs across the top of the roof behind him. He turns around to see what it is. Nothing is on the roof, but when he rounds the corner, he captures this. A large orangutan-like creature is crouching near the building. He looks like he could be digging or eating something on the ground. The cameraman bends to pick up something to throw at it. Finding his stick, he throws it the creature's way. And when it turns around, you see it's not an orangutan at all. The creature jumps up to the roof and climbs out of sight. Is this a CGI extraterrestrial like some are suggesting in the comments? Or is this Gollum looking for his precious? Whatever it is, it's definitely the last thing I'd want to see outside my home. Guess what? The scream is coming from inside the house. Posted to TikTok by La China, this Nest footage is chilling. A man is on his phone in bed while his kids and girlfriend are sleeping. A horrifying scream is heard off camera that prompts the man to look up at the TV. He thinks it's from the show's audio for a moment, but then gets up and mutes the show, asking his girlfriend if she heard it too. He then goes to check on his kids, all of whom are thankfully fine and fast asleep in their beds. The TikToker writes, "Scream came from inside the house. No one else heard it but my boyfriend and the camera." While this scream does sound as though it's live rather than from the TV's audio, some in the comments remark that it looks like the girl on TV screamed at that timestamp. Others are more impressed by the parents who both immediately sprung into action to protect their children. TikToker Cruel is stumped, however. He writes, "All he had to do was rewind. I guess that would have solved the mystery. This dog must be masterful at playing fetch." Posted on TikTok by PG Stories. A girl and her dog are running across their yard at night. Keep an eye on the dog. The pair are almost in pace with each other, with the dog on the girl's heels as they round a tree. But from behind the tree, the dog mysteriously vanishes. The girl rounds the corner alone, and then the dog appears several feet away behind her, running forward. But how? Even the dog looks confused by this. While some in the comments jump to teleportation, others think the dog ran behind the girl into a blind spot in the shadows before popping out. Although this seems like the most logical explanation, you might need to watch the clip a few times to be convinced. Peggy Dunn 428 seems more confused about its transfiguration. She writes, "Kangaroo and then ends up a dog. Do you see what she's talking about? I just wish we had some sort of explanation for this mystery. Is someone watching you through the mirror at your Airbnb?" Posted on TikTok, Ava was bored, wants to get to the bottom of this. She writes that they're staying at a vacation house, and she noticed something suspicious. When she approaches the mirror, you can see a red dot, like a laser beam on the surface. Many in the comments believe there's a camera behind the mirror, recording the guests' every move. In response, a second video shares him and Holly's comment, which states that if there's not a space between your finger and the reflection when you touch the mirror, then it's a two-way mirror. No Longer Active writes a helpful tip in the comments: "No space, leave the place." Others think it's a smart mirror though, which would explain the red light, as smart mirrors are fitted with lights in some TVs. Is this a smart mirror? Or should Ava get the heck out of Dodge? I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Like a chicken missing its head, lizard tails apparently remain animated long after detaching, and it's truly freaky. Posted to the oddly terrifying subreddit, Senile Tomato writes, This was roughly 1 minute after it came off. The tiny tail is shown wriggling around on the floor, as though it has a mind of its own. The creepy spasms continue for about 16 seconds. While this is not unusual, the activity of a detached limb does make my stomach turn. Why do they keep on moving? Because nerves from the lizard's body continue to communicate with each other. In fact, the tail can keep moving for more than 30 minutes. Redditor LESCun64 offers up an even creepier fun fact in the comments, writing, "If it stops moving, cut a bit off and it will start moving again. No, just no." This playful ghost is screwing around. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by DKit75. The mysterious video shows this person's pet hesitantly looking over his shoulder, like he senses something is there. After barking a few times, the dog is pushed forward. The Redditor explains that this wasn't the only strange event that occurred in this house. They believe that a woman's spirit lived there. Someone about the Redditor's height with dark hair. Both the Redditor and her husband had seen the anomaly on 2 separate occasions. The Redditor hadn't told her husband about her own experience until he told her what he'd seen. A woman standing next to the bed. They moved out of this home not long after. Watch the video again. The dog's front paws slide across the floor, making it appear as though he didn't step forward of his own accord, but was actually pushed, or maybe he was pulled. That's what Redditor Oluturgs thinks, writing, "Looking at the clip, you can see by the hand. It's obvious someone did Jedi Force pull on the dog. Case closed." I guess the biggest question now is, are there any non-Star Wars explanations for these events? Personally, I'm still thinking this home is haunted.
Give me that too.
Opened in 1852, the Marshall House is one of Savannah, Georgia's first hotels and the oldest hotel operating today in the city. Occupied by the Union during America's civil conflict, this building certainly has a long history, and with that comes a reputation of being haunted. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Caitlin Ham 15513, this isn't the first time she's caught a ghostly EVP at this location, and this one is certainly startling and mysterious to say the least. On the recording, someone is speaking about communicating with ghosts, describing how they don't really talk to you, you just hear them in the background, and it appears something paranormal was listening, because in the background you can hear a child's voice say me.
They don't really talk
30, it's gonna be on 36.
You just hear them in the background. You know what I'm saying?
In the comments, Black Widow 6 wrote, "Please be careful anytime you think you hear or see a child spirit. It's the #1 way a demonic entity will try to disguise itself as. Stay safe." So, should Caitlin and her group stay away from the Marshall House? It's clear something else is in there with them. As the saying goes, when one door closes, well, you know the rest. Posted on the Paranormal Evidence subreddit. Soulgirl X is wondering what's happening here. The video shows the hallway in the office where the Redditor's sister works. The Redditor explains, she keeps getting notifications on her phone that the security cameras have been activated. When there is no one in the building, she usually sees orbs, but this time a white line appears from a wall on the left where there are no doors, windows, or light sources. Well, let's take a look. The white line in question is plain as day across the floor, but it does appear to be coming from a doorway in the middle of the hallway. It's casting toward a broom cupboard according to the Redditor. After a while, the light disappears, either covered by a shadow, as the Redditor suggests, or more likely because the door is being closed. Either way, this office is supposed to be empty. Imagine working here overnight with this activity. It would definitely be time to call your mom. What is lurking over this ledge? Published by Haunted Area Tamil or HAT in March of 2022, an unidentifiable object floating over a ledge appears and then vanishes. The object looks kind of like a paper bag but is glowing. It shines there, hovering for a moment before disappearing in plain view. Is this a spirit making itself known? A luminescent paper bag, or something else entirely? It appears for the moment this mystery will remain unsolved. Is this your everyday ordinary bat? Or a vampire transforming? Originally published by Signs and Signals, this short clip walks viewers through an empty cemetery. At least it's empty at first. The cameraman says that he keeps hearing things, and as the camera pans around, something large and black flies into view. Although it could very well be a bat, the object seems a bit too big. It looks like a cape. Could it be both? Apparently, visit this graveyard if you want to become immortal. Thank you so much for getting me to 10,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers next. Thank you.